Hello and welcome to a microbit expansion board tutorial video. In this video, we will learn how to wire and program inputs such as buttons to control the screen of the microbit and LEDs. So let's go ahead and get started. To complete this tutorial, you will need the following materials: one BBC microbit, two LEDs, two 47 ohm resistors. Now the bands should be yellow, purple, black, gold. Two push buttons, an assortment of wires, a USB cable, a breadboard, and your microbit edge connector, also known as an expansion board. Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be using a push button. You'll notice the push button has a few different features to it. It has a button that clicks, and then it has these four little legs on the bottom of it. And the way this push button works is it's a switch. When the button is pushed down, these two legs are connected. When the button is not pushed down, the legs are disconnected. Well, let's go ahead and wire our push button. The first thing you need to do is take your microbit and attach it to the edge connector. We'll move all these items out of the way. And let's zoom in for a closer look. And we'll refocus. Perfect. So the push button will attach to your breadboard. And I like to put it across this middle divider. So what you do is line your push button up like so, and then gently push straight down. And your button should now fit in. We can see it's attached at 4 points. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now what we need to do is hook the push button up to the edge connector. So what I'll do is I will take one wire. I'll make it a red wire. I'm going to connect the red wire to this right leg of the push button and supply that with 3 volts of electricity, so to 3V. So again, the right leg of the push button goes to 3V. This left leg of the push button, I'm going to wire to pin P0. So I'll connect a wire to the left leg of the push button, and I'll connect the white wire to pin 0. So what's going to happen here is the microbit's going to be reading pin 0. When I'm not pushing the button, pin 0 won't be reading anything. It'll be low voltage. When I do push the button, electricity will be able to flow from 3 volts through the button, and pin 0 will see a high voltage. Well, I'll plug my microbit in and show you what this looks like, and then I'll show you how to code that yourself. So I'm plugging my microbit in. Let me zoom out here. And you should see when I push this button, a face appears. So right now, pin P0 is reading a low voltage, but when it reads a high voltage, a smiley face appears. What you could do is wire multiple buttons and create some kind of game show buzzer. So whoever pushes first could get an arrow that's pointing to them, showing that they answered the question first. You could also wire in LEDs on the breadboard. And when you push certain buttons, certain lights could flash in different patterns. You can do all sorts of things. But let me show you how I coded that to happen. Let's go to Microsoft Make Code. And what I'll start with is my forever loop, because I want this to keep running continuously. The first thing you need to do is create a variable. So I'm going to click Make a Variable, and let's call it push button 1. Okay. So there's my variable, and a variable is something that represents a number. And I'm going to grab this set push button 1 to 0 command. I'm going to grab that and put it in the loop. So remember, push button 1 is a variable. It's going to represent a number. But the number I want it to represent is whatever it's reading on the expansion board. What do I mean by that? Well, let's go to Advanced, Pins, and Digital Read Pin 0. What this is saying is, hey microbit, set push button 1 to whatever is actively happening at pin 0. If you recall, high voltage is equal to 1 and low voltage is equal to 0. So when I'm not pushing the button, this variable push button 1 is equal to 0. When I do push the button, push button 1 will be equal to 1. Great. Well, let's add some scenarios here that tell the microbit what to do. Let's go to Logic and grab one of these if statements. And then we'll go to Logic again and grab one of these comparison operators. What we want to have happen, if push button 1 is equal to 1, show a smiley face. Otherwise, clear the screen. So if, let's go to variables. Push button 1 is on. So remember, 1 is on, 0 is off. We want it to show something. You can choose any of these. I'm going to choose a smiley face. Otherwise, so I pressed that plus button. So if push button 1's not equal to 1, I want it to clear the screen. Let's download that code and see what happens. And you'll notice when I push the button, my smiley face appears. You can also test that out here on the screen. To the left, if you press pin 0, you see that the smiley face appeared. Excellent. So that is how you wire and code a push button to be an output. Again, you can wire and code as many buttons as you want, and you can also use them to control other features such as lights, buzzers, the screen of the LED, whatever you want. So thank you for watching.